They held hands and crossed the street, walking towards a bus park. Then, screech! A loud horn, a blinding headlight. A fast black car came out of nowhere. Amara! Ebuka screamed, but it was too late. The car hit her. Her body rolled across the road and landed hard. Blood spilled. People screamed. The car didn't stop. It sped off into the darkness. The billionaire's daughter and the poor boy. The sun was hot that afternoon in Lagos. Cars honked loudly as people rushed up and down the busy street in Yaba. Amara sat in the back seat of her father's black Jeep, frowning. The car had stopped moving, and her driver was outside, trying to fix something under the bonnet. Amara crossed her arms. Why today of all days? She looked around from the car window. There were noisy sellers shouting, "Buy your banana here," and "Hot puff puff, fresh puff puff." She had never been in such a place before. Just then, a boy carrying a tray full of puff puff walked close to her window. He looked about 19, with brown skin, a sweaty shirt, and dust on his slippers. But he had a bright, friendly smile. "Good afternoon, Auntie. Want hot puff puff?" he said, grinning. Amara raised her eyebrow. "Me? Puff puff? No, thank you." He laughed softly. "Are you sure? I made it myself. It's sweet like honey." She sighed. "My driver is taking too long. I'm hungry, but I don't eat street food." "Then today is the day you try," he said, holding one out to her. Amara looked around. Her driver was still busy. Nobody was watching. Carefully, she stretched out her hand and took one. She bit into it, soft, warm, sweet. "Wow," she said. "It's actually nice." "I told you," he said proudly. "My name is Ebuka, Puff Master of Lagos." Mara smiled. "I'm Amara. Pretty name for a pretty girl," he said. She blushed a little. "Thanks. You really made this yourself?" "Yes. I fry them every morning before I hit the road. I have to help my mom. She's not feeling well." Amara looked at him closely. He didn't look rich, but he didn't look sad either. He looked full of life. "You are the first person I've spoken to today that made me smile," she said. Ebuka nodded. "Then, I've done my job." Suddenly, the driver called from the front. "Madam, the car is ready." Mara quickly sat straight. "I have to go." Ebuka gave a small wave. "Come back for more puff puff tomorrow." She smiled as the car drove off, her heart beating a little faster than before. That night, in her big, quiet room, filled with gold curtains and soft pillows, Amara thought about the boy in the streets. Not about the puff-puff, but about the smile. Amara started sneaking out of the mansion every Saturday, wearing a hoodie and sunglasses to hide her face. Her driver, Uncle Dayo, always dropped her at the corner of the Yaba market, thinking she was going to a charity center. But she had another plan, to see Ebuka. Each time they met, they sat under the big mango tree beside Mama Chinyere's stall. Amara would bring small gifts, books, juice, sometimes even slippers. Ebuka always gave her hot puff-puff and new jokes. One Saturday afternoon, they sat close, laughing. "You should be a comedian," Amara giggled. "And you should be my manager," Ebuka said with a wink. "I'm serious," she said, touching his hand. "You are smart, Ebuka. You should be in school." He looked away. "I stopped after SS1. After Papa died, things changed. Mama couldn't pay the fees." Amara looked sad. "I'll talk to my dad. He can sponsor you." Ebuka smiled. That man that owns half of Lagos. He won't even let me near his gates. Amara leaned closer. He doesn't have to know. Yet. But trouble was coming. The next morning, Chief Obi was sitting in his golden chair, scrolling through social media. His phone suddenly stopped at a picture. His eyes widened. It was Amara, hugging a poor boy. The background was clearly Yaba Market. "What is this?" he shouted. He stormed into her room and banged the door. Amara, she jumped, dropping the book in her hand. "Daddy, how dare you embarrass me like this? Hugging some street boy like a common girl?" "Daddy, it's not like that. Who is he? What's his name?" "His name is Ebuka. He's not a bad person." Chief Obi raised his voice. "I don't care if he's Jesus. From today, you will never see him again. Never." Tears filled Amara's eyes. "Daddy, I love him." Chief Obi laughed bitterly. "Love? You don't even know what love is. You are just a silly little girl." He picked her phone and smashed it on the floor. "You are grounded. You will not leave this house until you forget that useless boy." That same evening, Ebuka waited under the mango tree with a small brown gift bag. Inside it was a necklace he had bought for Amara using his savings. He waited for hours, but she didn't come. Suddenly, a black SUV parked in front of him. 4 big men came down. "Are you Ebuka?" one of them asked. "Yes, who are you?" Without warning, they started beating him. "Stay away from Amara," one shouted. "You are nothing but a dirty boy." They kicked him. They kicked his puff-puff tray, and hot oil spilled everywhere. Ebuka was left on the ground bleeding. His clothes torn. He crawled home. When he reached his small room, he met his mother lying on the bed, coughing badly. "Mama," he said, rushing to her. "What happened?" She was sweating and breathing fast. "I'm cold," she whispered. "Did you sell anything today?" Ebuka checked his pocket. He had nothing left. He held her hand. "I find help, Mama. Please hold on." But that night, as the wind blew gently through the broken window, Mama Ebuka took her last breath. Ebuka sat beside her, holding her hand, crying quietly. "I lost her. I lost everything." Ebuka buried his mother with help from some kind neighbors. There was no ceremony, no priest, just tears, dust and silence. After the burial, he sat by the small grave for hours, staring into the sky. "She was all I had," he whispered. He picked up his puff-puff tray, burnt and broken, and walked away from the only place he had called home. He had no plan, no food, just pain. 3 years later, the Obi mansion was decorated with gold ribbons and white balloons. It was Chief Obi's 60th birthday, and the rich and powerful were everywhere. Governors, business moguls, even an Hollywood actor or two. But Amara didn't smile. She had just returned from London, where she had been sent 3 years ago to forget the poor boy. She had finished school there, but her heart had never healed. As she stepped out of her black car, wearing a long red gown, cameras flashed and people clapped, but her eyes searched for something or someone. Then her heart skipped. At the mansion gate stood a young man in a security uniform, checking cars and greeting guests. She froze. "Ebuka," she whispered. He looked different, taller, stronger, with a small scar near his eyebrow. But it was him. She walked quickly towards the gate. "Ebuka." He turned slowly, and their eyes met. Amara's voice shook. "It's really you." Ebuka stood still. His face was cold. "Good evening, Ma." "Ma?" "Ebuka, don't do that. It's me, Amara." He nodded softly. "Yes, I know. I work here now. Please enter. Guests are waiting. Amara blinked. Why are you acting like this? He looked at her straight. Because the boy you knew is gone. He died the day his mother died. And you left. Tears welled up in her eyes. I didn't leave because I wanted to. My father forced me to travel. I begged. I cried. He didn't care. Ebuka looked away. We didn't try hard enough. She reached for his hand. I never forgot you. Not for one day. He slowly pulled his hand back. I'm just a gate man, Mom. You are still a princess. Amara wiped her tears. Damn, I'd rather be a gate woman than live in a palace without you. Ebuka shook his head. It's too late, Amara. My life is not your fairy tale. Just then, another guest car honked loudly behind her. Ebuka turned back to duty. Please, go inside. Amara stood there for a while, watching him take names and wave cars in, pretending not to know her. Her heart felt like it was cracking. That night, Amara didn't eat the birthday cake. She didn't laugh at jokes. She just sat by the window of her big room, staring into the dark sky. She whispered, I found you again. And now, I'm losing you all over. The next day, Amara wore simple clothes, no makeup, no earrings, no fancy perfume. She walked to the security post near the mansion gate where Ebuka stood, writing in a logbook. Hi, she said softly. He looked up. Madam Amara, what do you want this time? She frowned. Stop calling me that. Just call me Amara, like before. He didn't answer. He returned to writing. I'm sorry, Ebuka, she said. I know you are hurt. I know I'm disappointed. But I never forgot you. Not for a single day. Ebuka didn't look at her. What do you want from me? I want you, she said. The real you. The boy who gave me puff-puff and made me laugh. The one who told me I was special. Ebuka paused. I buried my mother with no help. I lived under a bridge for 6 months. I begged to eat while you were flying in planes. I was dodging rain. Do you understand that? Tears filled Amara's eyes, and I hated every day in London. You think I was happy? I cried myself to sleep for weeks. My father even took my phone. He looked at her for a long time. You are serious? She nodded. I want to leave this life behind. The gold, the mansion, the fake smiles. I just want peace. I want you. A small tear dropped from Ebuka's eye, but he quickly wiped it. You don't belong in my world anymore. Then I'll enter it, she said, even if it's small and dirty and hard. If you let me, I will stay. Ebuka stared at her again, and for the first time in years, he smiled. Okay, he whispered. Let's try. They decided to leave the next day, together. Amara packed a small bag. No one in the house knew what she was planning. She had even taken off her jewelry and replaced her slippers with flat sandals. She met Ebuka by the roadside at night, near the back fence. You sure about this? He asked. She smiled. More than anything. They held hands and crossed the street, walking towards a bus park. Then, screech! A loud horn, a blinding headlight, a fast black car came out of nowhere. Amara! Ebuka shouted, but it was too late. The car hit her. Her body rolled across the road and landed hard. Blood spilled. People screamed. The car didn't stop. It sped off into the darkness. Ebuka sat in the waiting room of the hospital, his hands shaking. His shirt was stained with blood. A nurse finally came out. She is alive, the nurse said, but she hit her head. She may not remember things. What do you mean? Ebuka asked. She may forget people, places, even her own name. He rushed into the room. Amara lay on the bed, a bandage on her forehead, her eyes opened slowly. Amara, he said, holding her hand. It's me, Ebuka. She looked at him with confused eyes. Who are you? Ebuka broke into pieces. You don't know me? She blinked. Should I? He smiled sadly, even though his eyes were wet. No problem. I'm just someone who gave you puff puff under a mango tree. The hospital room smelled like medicine and flowers. Sunlight passed gently through the white curtain. Ebuka sat quietly beside Amara's bed, watching her sleep. Every day since the accident, he had been there. Every day, she opened her eyes and looked at him like he was a stranger. On this morning, she opened her eyes again. You came back, she said. Yes, he replied, smiling softly. I've been here. She lifted her head. You are the one who says puff puff, right? He chuckled. Yes, puff puff master of Lagos. She smiled faintly. That sounds funny. He reached into his bag and brought out something wrapped in brown paper. I made this for you, he said. Your favorite. Remember? She unwrapped it slowly. Inside was a small puff puff. Feel warm. She looked at it, looked at him, then took a bite. Her eyes lit up for a second. Then she closed them. I know this taste, she whispered. Ebuka leaned closer. You do? She looked at him again. Did we used to sit under a mango tree? His heart jumped. Yes, he whispered. We did. You wore sunglasses. You always laughed when I told bad jokes. Amara blinked fast. Her eyes looked far away. I remember laughing. I remember someone holding my hand. She looked down at their hands now. He was holding hers gently. Was it you? He nodded, his voice shaky. It was always me, Amara. She wiped a small tear from her eye. I don't remember everything, she said, but when I look at you, I feel safe. He smiled, fighting his own tears. That's enough for me. Weeks passed. Amara was allowed to go home from the hospital, but she didn't return to the good mansion. She moved to a small house in Ebuka's neighborhood. She started learning to cook local food, fetch water, and live simply. Ebuka helped her every step of the way. Some days she remembered more, some days she didn't. But every evening they sat outside watching the sun set. One evening, Amara turned to him suddenly. You once gave me puff puff, she said. That was the first time I smiled that year. Ebuka looked at her shocked. You remember? She touched his face gently. Not everything, but I remember that, and I remember I loved you. He held her close. I still do. And even though life had taken so much from them, love found its way back, piece by piece, under the same mango tree where it all began.